Are you currently doing field inspections, but you're also wondering how you could possibly boost your income without adding any extra stress or hours to your day? You're already out in the field making your own schedule. Why not make the best of it? In this video, I'm going to break down just a few side hustles that you can add along with your field inspections. Let's just get into it. Still see it right there. You got to go up the ladder right there. I was like, you told me about the ladder before we got on the elevator. So now I know a lot of you are already previously doing field inspections, or you probably just got started doing field inspections, but the money is just not flowing in fast enough for you. But either way, you still want to replace whatever job you're doing full time with something that's going to allow you to work for yourself, something that's going to give you your time back, something that's going to allow you some freedom. All right, so in the mix of doing that, you also want to make sure that you're making enough money to do all of those things. Nothing can replace your income or exceed your income if you're not bringing in enough income from your new opportunity. So when you're starting off and you're new, sometimes you have to add things along with what you're already doing, just in order to make sure that you're staying on top of everything. You don't want to get behind on your bills. You don't want to have collections and nobody calling you. And you definitely do not need all of that added stress, strain, and anxiety simply because you're trying to do something different outside of your 9 to 5, and it's just not making it as of yet. So these are not side hustles that I'm going to throw out there to you just so you can just have all of these extra things. Because of course, if you do too many things at once, it definitely will take up a lot of your time. It's just some suggestions for you, just because I know that a lot of you are trying to do inspections and you're needing something to add to your money flow simply because the work is not coming through enough as of yet. And once things get started and everything pops off the way you want it to, if you choose to, go ahead and cut the rest of them loose, or whichever one you may choose, and you can actually really get your time back. But until then, you really need to add something. That way you can still manage to let that 9 to 5 job go. Because trust me, I've been there. I already know that when you're trying to just leave a job based off of one thing that you're trying to do, it can be stressful because you really want to let it go, but the money's not adding up enough for you. So I want to help you out with that. So of course, you already know I'm only going to talk about things that I've done myself. So I'm going to throw those out there to you, and hopefully maybe somebody will take a bite at something. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is general notary work, of course, and loan signing, right? I have talked to a couple of you guys who have already said before you even started doing field inspections, you were already trying to get your commission so that you can do some notary work. All right, well, that most definitely will bring in a little taste of money, but we already know that a lot of the general notary work may not pay as much. But see, you want to get your commission if at all possible, okay? Because a lot of people don't want to actually do the commission because, you know, you got to do all of this studying. You got to pay for all of these different things, right? You got to go and get your testings done, and then you got to pay for the registration. All of this stuff that you have to do in order to get your commission, and you may have to wait a minute. But when I got my commission for general notary work, do you actually think that I got my commission so that I could run around and charge someone for $15 for a stamp? Do you know how many stamps I have to put on some forms in order to make a decent amount of money? That would only just be a serious, small side hustle. I got my commission because you need to be commissioned for general notary work in order to be a loan signing agent. So that was my goal. That was the end goal for me, to make sure that I can be a loan signing agent. And of course, we already know that loan signing pays way more than being a notary worker. Just going out and applying your stamp to all of these different forms. Okay? And for those of you who may not know what loan signing is, in a nutshell, you are getting people to sign forms for financial companies. It is loan signing, and you'll need to have your commission stamp, which is why you have to go and get commissioned, because without a commission, you can't have a stamp. And you need to be able to stamp those forms and send those things in via FedEx to those financial companies. So that's pretty much what that is. It's a serious part of the real estate game. Hint to you, you'll learn a lot about real estate for sure when you start doing loan signing, which is also another reason why I decided to do it at that point. Because I knew that that would possibly open up some doors for me if I decided to get into the real estate. We was going to do a little family type of thing going on, and at that time, that's what we were planning to do. So I knew I needed to know something, and I come to find out that a lot of stuff on the testing and all of that was some of the same stuff that people who are in real estate have to know. So that's just something to throw out there at you, just in case you were thinking about it. That may be a good idea for you. And those of you who told me you've already done it, you already know. Kudos to you. Okay, so now let's talk about ride share and delivery driving. Lyft, Uber, ride share, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart. A lot of you guys are already doing it. And let me tell you something. I know some of you are probably saying, nobody gonna be doing all that. Let me tell you something, okay? These are just suggestions, all right? So don't nobody get it twisted. I'm just trying to help you. If you are trying to replace a 9-to-5 job right now, and your income that you are pulling in at the moment for field inspection is not pulling in enough money at this moment, if you add things to your roster, okay, you will most definitely be able to go ahead and jump ship, because you will have money coming in. I only suggest that I'm not going to not suggest. I will only tell a person, do not quit a 9-to-5 job unless you have some sort of money coming in. But if you've already started doing something, you have money coming in. You just need to add it to it. You need to top it off, okay? So a lot of people drive for Uber. They drive for Lyft. Those are things that you can add in on your time that you are not actually doing any inspections, or while you're waiting on these companies to reply to you. Maybe you've signed up for several companies already and they are just not communicating as fast as you would like for them to. Well, that's just the name of the game. Most of the time, they're going to communicate with you when they're ready. And that's just the way it is, okay? But in the meantime, while you're waiting, because you are full of faith, right? So you know eventually people are going to start calling you. So in the midst of it, why not fill the gap with something else? Now, I'm not talking about something I've never done. Now, of course, I've never driven Lyft or Uber, and that's because they always require for you to have a 4-door car, and I don't remember the last time that I've had a 4-door car. So, yeah. That will not ever work for me. And I'm not going to advance up to a 4-door ride so that I can be driving people around, because that's still money coming out of my pocket, okay? Now I got to buy a new car. But those of you who already have 4-door vehicles, that is an opportunity that you may want to think about looking into. Now, I have done DoorDash and I have done Uber Eats. I did DoorDash for a minute. I started doing it during the pandemic. I was already working a job, 9-to-5. And I started doing it because, of course, the workload had kind of slowed down at work. All right, this was before they gave us that option to take it to the crib, because there was hardly no work coming in and they didn't need everybody at the facility. I started doing DoorDash, and I made a good little taste of DoorDash. But back then, that was the amount of money that was coming in, because everybody was at home. Everybody was afraid to come out. Nobody wanted to be around people. And a lot of people around here don't cook no way. So all they did was add to it. And a lot of these people, let me tell you something. You can go deliver something for $10 to somebody and they'll tip you an extra 20, 30 bucks on top. I was racking in hours tops. every day. And I did it for a minute. I'm about to bring some receipts so I can show you guys how much I was making during that time with my DoorDash. And then, of course, I added Uber Eats in there later down the line when I attempted to start a little later on the days that I was actually doing nothing and sitting around, because I was afraid that I would not meet my deadline for actually letting go of my last full-time job. Because see, I set a goal for a day that I was going to quit and be done. And I was almost there. But in my mind, I was thinking, you may need to add something else to it just so you can feel a little bit more comfortable, because you know you want to have some money stacked. So I added Uber Eats to my roster and got out there and was doing that. And thank God I did, because I hadn't been doing DoorDash for so long. They decided they wanted to put your girl on punishment, so to speak. You got to make, deliver a certain amount and before you can start getting the better orders. And when I was doing it before, it was not like that. All right. And I wasn't going to be wasting my time running around all over town for hours on end delivering chicken sandwiches. All right. But Uber Eats was just the opposite. And as long as somebody was ordering and I was in that area, it was my order. Just something for you guys to think about. That will be something that you can add in between doing your field inspection. Suppose you got a big gap. Suppose you are making appointments, but your work, once again, is not picking up in the way that you was hoping that it would. You don't have a lot coming in. If you was to sign on for something like Uber Eats or Instacart, which I've never done, okay, but a lot of people rave about it, so that's why I'm mentioning, okay? But you can sign on to one of those apps in between time, and instead of you doing one appointment earlier and then having to wait an hour or 2, 3 hours to do the next one because people are not setting the appointments close enough, you can throw in you some deliveries. Just something, once again, for you to think about. So now let's talk about selling digital products, because you guys already know that if I don't do nothing, I do that. Digital products, adding those to your roster. What sort of digital products could you possibly sell? You're probably wondering. You're gonna sell yourself. That's what your digital product is gonna be. Your digital product is gonna be yourself. Now, there are some people who sell stuff like templates and things of that nature, and, do whatever floats your boat. But the majority of your income should be coming from, if you're doing digital products, by you selling yourself. And that means selling your skills and what you know. And let me tell you something. Don't nobody say they don't have a skill. Don't nobody say there's nothing I've learned. I don't know anything. Because if you've lived long enough or experienced anything or came from any sort of background that you got stories to tell about, you know something, okay? You could be braiding hair. You could be taking care of children. You could be cooking, baking cookies. You could be a chef in the kitchen. You could be one of those people that everybody turn to when it's time to eat during the holidays, because you cook soul food like nobody's business. You give grandma a run for her money. There is plenty of things that people know how to do. They just have not began to market it because they don't realize that it is sellable. But it is. And you can create you some digital products. Now, how would you sell that? Of course, you're going to have to need some sort of platform. A lot of you already have platforms, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or here on YouTube. A lot of you have platforms. A lot of you, if you're watching me, you already have a YouTube channel, because you can't comment on a YouTube video unless you create a channel. So since you have one, why not put it to use? And your income for doing digital products, of course, is unlimited, because it's going to be based solely on how many customers you have, how many people are actually seeing your products, how many people are actually going into your product, your landing page, if you have one, because you can also create you a website. Now, there is, I want to say, I'm going to call it 2 of them for sure. Edwin EDW, oh, you know what? I said that wrong. Edwid. And I may still be saying it wrong. EDWID. They have a free platform that you can use. And I know it's not trash because I've used it. And also PayHip. PAYHIP. Free platform that you can use. I also know because I've used it. Outside of places like Shopify, things of that nature. But if you want to start making money while you sleep, along with doing field inspections, that's something I strongly suggest that a lot of you jump into. Drop it in the comment section if you want me to start making a little bit more videos on actually doing digital products. But in the meantime, let's just move on. Possibly starting your own blog or your own what you're looking at now, your own YouTube channel, talking about things that you already know. Once again, selling yourself. Every time you log on to YouTube and you see a new video of Deidre Michelle and you click on it, I have just sold myself because I am showing you or teaching you or giving you some sort of knowledge based off of what I already know, based off of my experience or experiences. Create you a channel. Some people may take up to a year to get monetized. Some people get monetized within a few months. Some people get monetized within a few weeks. It all depends on what you know. If you're a traveler and you're traveling around all over the place, oh, those get monetized so fast. There are a whole lot of them. Do your research. Figure out which ones that are actually getting monetized the quickest. And if that's something that you know that you can do, you can get started on it. And then guess what? After all of your money is steady coming in from field inspection, because that may be what you really want to do with your time, guess what other money is going to be always coming in? Okay, now everything I've told you pretty much is going to require you to move around a little bit, but it will actually add to your income so that you can be quicker on replacing your job. Or if you already are without a job, it'll make you be able to pay your bills a lot better, be able to relax and not be stressed out. And as far as the YouTube and the digital products, of course, you're going to have to do some leg work first in order to get yourself out there and in this game. But once you do that and the ball starts rolling for you, the money will start coming in and it will continue to come in. Just do a little work here or there to keep it flowing. I hope that some of these things that I have told you guys and some of the tips that I've given you throughout this video has been able to help some of you to realize that maybe, just maybe, I should do that instead of waiting and stressing. Do not sit around and wait and stress, waiting on companies to contact you and offer you contracts. In the midst of waiting, release yourself from that stress and find something else to add. And if you've already added something in the midst of doing field inspections while you wait, drop that in the comment section also. Let's talk about it, because I would love to hear what your side gig is. And in the meantime, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because you know I'll be bringing you back something later. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.